welcome back to our channel. This is Teacher Cedric. For today, I'd like to go through questions from our PSLE mock exam that we did last week. And this is from paper 2, question 9. Now, why do I want to talk about this question? It is because this question is one of the questions that has the lowest scoring percentage, which means out of all the students, most of them wasn't able to get this question. So let's see what we can learn from it and why it is so difficult. Now, in the figure below, the square in the center has a side length of 20 centimeters. So for geometry questions, it is very important that we label the information as we read. So let me put down the label, which is also the diameter of two smaller circles. So that's all right. Now, two larger circles with radius 14 centimeters, again, label. Are centered on the vertices of these two right-angle triangle. Okay? Now, taking pi as this value, we have to find the total perimeter of all the shaded regions. Well, let's have a look at the shaded regions. Is it complicated? Yes, it looks very complicated. But the good news is that it does seem that some of the parts we can find it directly. For example, this segment over here, right? This is basically the arc of a circle. So how do I find out the arc length of a circle? Well, I just have to figure out the radius and then the angle. Now, do we have that two information in these questions? Yeah, it is given to us. This is 14, and then I can also work out this angle by taking 360 minus 90. So we can actually find this length. But the problem is, what about all these parts in the middle? Well, I do know the radius, but can I form this into a sectors and find the center angle? Doesn't seem quite applicable. Well, that's okay. Let me just ignore it for now and have a look if there's any other shapes that we can find. Well, beside the large circle, we also have small circles. So let us have a look at it. Now, focusing on the small circle, again, we can see that the good news is this outer part is a semicircle, which we can easily find out the length. But again, we see that inside, there's so many these weird-looking segments that we just couldn't find directly. So what can we do? Now, let's go back to the previous segment that we've been looking at. Since this is a segment that we don't know how to find, let's see if there's any other segments around it such that we can maybe combine them and turn it into something that we couldn't find. Well, let's see. So this segment over here belongs to this big circle. Is there any other segment also belongs to this big circle? Oh, yes. Like this part over here and this part over here. They all belong to this big circle. So if I combine these three along with this outer part, what do we get? We get a full circle. So that's solved at least for these three parts over here. And since there are two large circles, we can basically do the same thing for the right one. So we have a big circle, and here is another one, so I can simply just multiply by 2. But does that solve the problem? Well, no, there's still so many. But let's see what are the remaining ones. For example, we have this one over here. Again, it's a weird-looking segment. Let's see if I can combine it with some other weird-looking segments to put them into a nice shape. Again, we can see this orange segment over here is part of the small semicircle. Is there any segment that also belongs to this small circle? Yes. So this one, that one, and this one. So if I just combine them with this semicircle over here, I would get one small circle. And since there are two small circles, another to the top, I simply need to multiply by 2. So that solves at least all this inner part. You can see all these shaded regions, they're already bounded with these two big circles and two small semicircles. But is that the final answer? Let's check. Now, any other side of the shaded regions that we have not included over here? Well, they do have some. For example, this is also the side of a shaded region, and this one as well. And also this too. Well, do we know their dimension? Yes, we know exactly 14 centimeters. Since there are 4 of them, I have to plus 2 times 14. But that's still not all of it. There's still 2 more horizontal lines. That is the side of the shaded region. So what is this dimension? 20. So I still have to add 2 times 20. The green lines. So that included all the perimeters of the shaded regions. So now it's just a simple calculations. So for the big semicircle, pi times the diameter times 2. For the small semicircle, pi times the diameter times 2. And then finally, we do these 2 calculations and we put them together by using pi as 3.14. We find that the final answer is 397.44. And that solves this problem. So what can we learn from it? Well, the technique that we learned from this question is that if you have some unknown shapes that you can't solve directly, then we can try to combine them together to form a known shape that we can solve easily. So that's the main idea from these questions. Again, if you'd like to know more about our PSLE class and to just receive some free learning materials, make sure you join our PSLE study group. I'm Teacher Cedric and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye!